Let me start by saying that unless you've been living under a rock for the past year or so, you can't have helped but hear an awful lot about traffic being useful for moving both websites and GMBs in Google. At the same time, you probably heard a lot of negative feedback on traffic too. A lot of people saying, I've tried it, it didn't work. I've tried several different traffic robots, none of them had any effect, or they tanked my site, they had the opposite effect to what they were supposed to. None of this is a surprise really, because traffic is an incredibly complex thing to figure out. We've spent over 4,000 hours in total with testing, analysis and research to figure out what we figured out so far. Most of the tests that we did were failures, if I'm honest. They didn't work. We've had to do an awful lot to get at the things that do have a positive effect and figure out how Google works, what it's looking for, and how you can actually do it properly so that it's going to have the desired effect that you want in pushing your properties up the rankings. So that was the whole point of putting this course together. The idea was to give you a simple, step-by-step, easy to follow series of videos which goes concept by concept and explains exactly what you need to do to lay down the foundational building blocks, and then the best way to follow up to validate all that good work with the traffic, which is going to help to give you the rankings and cement all of that other stuff that you've done in place. Now, following on from GMB Hacks, which was a course that we did last July, which was an extremely powerful course packed with an awful lot of powerful content, but one of the feedbacks we got was that it was difficult to action some of it because you didn't have the tools to do it. So we've listened to that. Lloyd has been very busy putting together some tools that can help in that regard, and we went on a quest to look for a commercially available traffic bot that could get the job done. And we went through altogether, I think it was close to 20 traffic bots before we found one that actually works. Okay, so within the course, we're highlighting that tool. That's not our tool, it's a third-party tool, and we only mention it here because we use it and it works. Okay. The important thing that we decided to do with this course, which is probably different to the vast majority of courses, is that in each instance, when we put a module together for you and you go through it, we're going to show you proof that it actually works. Okay, so we're not just expecting you to take our word for it. We're actually going to show you evidence that the concepts we're using actually produce positive results. So for the rest of this short intro video, I'm just going to very, very quickly talk you through some of the results that we've had using the concepts that you're going to learn about in this course. Okay, so here's an example. This is for a site which Lloyd owns and controls in Liverpool, and this is his SEO business. Okay, so these were the results when we first scanned this business. I think that's over a 10-mile radius for this particular keyword, which is SEO Liverpool. Very, very competitive term. Anyone that's in SEO, you know that trying to dominate SEO for your particular city in the SERPs is a difficult thing to do. So let's have a look after we completed one of the campaigns, and I think this was over a period of about 10 days to 2 weeks. Let's have a look at the results that we got. Okay, straight away you can't help but notice that whilst we're still not in the 3-pack, we've made an enormous amount of progress towards getting in there for this particular term, and that's over a 10-mile radius. So this is not easy to do, guys. I mean, that's a very, very tough competitive term, and in the space of 10 days we've moved an awful lot of ground there and improved proximity dramatically. Okay, so that's the first example, and that was achieved by just doing one of the things that's mentioned in the course. This next one is a catering site in the UK, and this was for a very, very stubborn keyword that they were very, very unsuccessful in gaining any ground on. So we thought, let's throw some traffic at it and see if we can get it to move. Again, this was over the course of just a few days. So let's look at what happened after a few days of applying traffic the right way. Okay, immediately you can see there we've got a lot more green and a lot less red, and that's after just a few days of sending traffic. So, and that continued to improve, but there you go. That's just after a few days. And that's, again, just using one of the concepts that are included in the course. This one was a double glazing business based here in Australia. So again, this was a traffic, purely traffic, nothing else done to it. So this was done in isolation. So let's just have a look at what we could do with that. And straight away, you can see the improvement there in the rankings, again, after a very, very short period of sending traffic. These are the rankings for a fitness center here in Perth. They were stuck on this keyword, fitness center, dominating for a lot of other keywords, but this one was a problem for them. And you can see that they got a nice boost there, but this wasn't actually a traffic campaign. This was something different. No traffic had been applied to this one. So this was, again, using just one concept. This next one was a new listing for that same business in a different location. And initially when it went up, you can see not ranking at all well for their primary keyword. So they needed some help. So we did a little bit of branding work and then threw a little bit of traffic at it. And this was the result that we got from that campaign. This next series of 4 are just some results that we've had with a recent campaign, which is a very, very, very tough keyword. Okay, this is in the gutter cleaning niche in America, and these are tough to move. But you can see there we've had some very good success there, and this is a very recent campaign, last few days. Another one here, and you can see pretty much green across the board. I think we've just got one little spot there where it didn't move. Everything else had gone up. Another nice one there with green across the board. And these are big cities, guys. This is all of these are for pretty decent sized cities and very tough keywords to rank for. This last one that you can see here, not ranking very well at this point, a lot of work to do, but you can see here already, and this was in the space of about 10 days, we jumped 39 positions in one of those nodes there, and a lot of the others were comparable as well. So that gives you some idea of just how well traffic can work. Here are the recent results for SERPs for Lloyd's SEO website. So this is for the actual website itself. Okay, and look at that. You can't help but be happy with those results. And that was for a period, again, of just a few days. Here we go back to that catering business in the UK. And wedding catering they were going after here. Very, very tough keyword. Very, very tough. This one gets a lot of traffic. And it is a very productive keyword. Just one job here is worth quite a lot of money. And this is the result. Again, this was exclusively a traffic campaign, nothing else done with this. All of these that we're showing you, only one element was done in most cases. I think there was one where we'd done 2 things, a bit of branding. But in most of these cases, we're showing you the results of only having done one thing that's contained within this course, okay? And you're going to have access to be able to do all of these things together. Okay, staying with the catering business in the UK, this is their primary keyword. Okay, we featured this one back in the Hacks course as well. This is their primary keyword that they get most of their business for. They're a hog roast catering business. Okay, so this is over 20 miles, so not ranking too bad. And they're getting a lot of business from this. They were keeping their books pretty full all season based on this one single GMB with these results. But look what happened when we sent traffic in a very specific way. Okay, and we're actually going to tell you, we're going to show you within the course what we did to get these results. This is going to blow you away. Okay, so you'll note now that this is over 30 miles, not 20, and look at the rankings, guys. Look at the rankings. Okay, now in fairness, this did take about 8 weeks. Okay, so not overnight. It took about 8 weeks to do this, and it's sending traffic in a very, very specific way. Now, I'm not going to suggest that you can necessarily recreate these results on every single keyword for every single listing. Okay, that's not what I'm suggesting, but it shows you what is possible, and that proximity is absolutely not fixed if you know how to break it. Let's go one step further and see what our final result was. Now we should really have a drum roll for this, because look at this, guys. That is insane. Okay, and again, I'm not going to suggest that you can necessarily recreate this to this degree, but what it does is it indicates to you just how powerful traffic can be if it's done right, and how you can smash proximity. okay, when you get things right. This is covering most of the south of England, and we're even getting a 3-pack ranking just off of Calais in France. I mean, that is insane. And I think it proves to anybody who was doubting about whether you can actually overcome the proximity filter. I think this is clear evidence that you can. So with that, we'll leave you. And please, if you've bought the course, enjoy. If you haven't bought the course, please consider buying it. We put a lot of effort into it. And the whole idea is just that we're doing it for you guys to make life easier for you as we go forward into 2020 and beyond.